I'm looking at this flower this morning and I thought, my sisters are some of the wisest people that I know. The wisest. I'll get back to that in a minute. See this flower? For thousands of years, this flower has been telling mankind how to be happy and how to be successful. The secret? I'll get to that in a minute. There's a movie called City Slickers. It is, in my opinion, one of the best movies ever made because of one thing. And I'll get to that in a minute. We, you and I, live in the absolute best of times. Absolute best of times. We get our scriptures from the internet, movies, TV, magazines, you name it. And every source is the best source ever. There's not a single sacred book that has ever been written that gives you more and better information than the internet. Not a single one. The internet is, without a doubt, the best source for wisdom. The internet is a collection of all knowledge. The internet is not discriminatory. The internet has no hidden agenda. All sacred books that were written with hidden agendas to enslave the mind and souls of mankind. Their mention of God was, of course, their own creation of that God. Their books were inspired by greed and selfishness, and the sacred books that were not inspired were inspired by nature. Nature. Now, about my sisters. Each and every one of them came into my life to enlighten me on my quest towards perfection. Yes, I use the word perfection, as is humanly possible. One taught me humility in showing up my unbridled ego. One taught me the power of generosity and to see sharing as a spiritual principle. That is, never give up an opportunity to share what you have, and never give up an opportunity to do good. One taught me unconditional love, in spite of myself. And one taught me the power of embracing self as the one true source of all good. And they all contributed to my being, my confidence in saying, I am. I am. You don't believe me? As a matter of fact, you shouldn't believe me unless you truly understand what I'm saying. So, what about this hibiscus, this flower? Pause the video and take a very long and good look at the picture on the screen. The hibiscus is being the best flower it can be, and it is beautiful. The bee is being the best insect it can be, and it is productive. The wind is simply being the wind. The sunshine is doing what the sun does best. The weather is perfect as it does what it does best, and so on. Each is doing exactly and precisely what it does best. The bee is not copying the flower, which is not copying the weather, which is not copying the sunshine. Each is unique and pretty and productive simply by being the best of what they are. That's it. Our source of happiness as human beings depends entirely on each of us knowing who we are and being the best that each of us can be individually. That's it. Sometimes it takes us out of our comfort zone and demand that we think for ourselves. Once upon a time, there's a woman who became a millionaire by simply knowing herself, her liabilities, and by using people and their money. I knew this woman personally. She would use the money from her brothers and sister and create her own wealth. She used their money to buy land, to build houses, to sell houses she built, and then use the money to repeat the process. She became a very good builder and an excellent user of people and their money. But I must caution you about something. Before you judge her, ask yourself two questions. Why are you judging her? Who gave you the rules to judge her by? Her siblings gave her their money. She used it. They had their motives. She had hers. There is no good or bad here. She worked hard in acquiring wealth based on the wealth formula. Know yourself, find a niche and fill it, make sacrifices by resisting instant satisfaction for future gains, work hard, apply enthusiasm in doing what you do, employ discipline in doing what you do, use other people's laziness, greed, and selfishness to your advantage, and then use the money to make money. Finally, define your own definition of success, not other people's definition of success. I know a man who's a millionaire, yet when people see him, they think otherwise. He told me his secret. Give people what they need by capitalizing on their laziness, buying and selling properties, car, lands, etc. And he told me his secret. By the way, people are willing to share their secrets of success if you ask them and you have the wisdom to listen. He was a good old country boy with the resources and time. He believed in himself and what he could do. He and his wife lived out of their car for 3 months, going from parking lot to parking lot. They both did odd jobs and saved by doing stuff, fix up cars and reselling at a profit. Then, when they had enough money, they lived out of a motel, as they continued to do what they did best, buy and resell, satisfying the needs of others. That was their niche. You would think that with their wealth, and they are rich, they would live a life of opulence. No. She still cleaned people's houses. He still buys and resells cars, cut people's grass, and do what he does best. Why? Because they both love what they do. Because they both define their own standards for their own success. They both still buy lands and houses and whatever they want to buy, and they always buy it for cash. That's right, cash. And they're both happy being themselves and defining life on their own terms. As for me, life is good. As of today, I have everything that I need, and I'm extremely happy being me. I have made my errors in the past, but I don't linger there. I don't contemplate the future too much, since I can't go there anyway. I am mindful of just here and now. I share what I have. I love the people that I love. I'm awarded by having all my needs met today, right here and right now. And I live a stress-free life. I know the secret. That is, I know my secret. Being true to myself and do my best to be the best human being that I can be, and not to copy other people. I do just one thing these days. I take pictures. Tomorrow that might change, but I will be doing just one thing, whatever that thing is. I define wealth on my own terms, and because of that I'm rewarded with having all my needs met. Those who choose not to be the best human beings that they can be, which is their choice, have all their fears realized. Universal law, you see. It is so with the universal mind, the mind of the eternal consciousness, and so it has been for millions of years. You, however, must think for yourself.